Hello everyone and welcome to Lingfield Park in Lingfield, Surrey, England, our fourth stop on my England track profiles. Lingfield is the home to the all-weather championships in the springtime. All the tracks we've been to on this trip, just based off the time of year, have been synthetic tracks, so it's cool to visit the place where the all-weather championships will be held. But let's go ahead and get started with our tour around Lingfield Park.
Cuts out the early running with Rebus, Rob Roy, market leader on the running rail, Dubai Harbour.
When you first get your admission and walk inside, you'll find a pathway to follow directly to the grandstand.
5 furlong dash that we go with our Rosetracks horse number 4 here. Was the winner of Sir Walter Hampton last week. We're looking to follow up here on Lingfield today. Price to go right about 72 Rosetracks. So that's a pretty important long runner. We still have 8 going. Place in each way bets. Place pops in that third race. Will still be first, second, and third.
I really wish I had a chance to visit Lingfield on a busy day rather than a random weekday in January because, by the looks of it, this area would be turned into a fun festival atmosphere. The buildings and everything kind of remind me of a small village decorated for a festival, but guess I'll just have to come back in the future to see it in its full glory.
At 1:55, Mark Tappers are not running in your race cards today. The race imposed, the third number 9 is out of race 4. All 10 set to go in the 5th. 4 complements of 7 runners in race 6 to close off the play spot today. So first or second in that race, but all 7 go. Then we've got 2 divisions of a mile 2 handicap sponsored by Bet UK to close the card. In the second division, final race 3:55, Aspire to Glory. Will not run. Alice Hayes winners. One here at Lingfield.
The indoor section is actually a little bit smaller than I expected, and definitely smaller than some of the other tracks that we visited on this trip. There are a few places to sit down while you get some food or place your bets, but really the main area is just kind of one long hallway.
Plan Paradise and fought the man both in time at the final phase. Plan Paradise sticking to his guns really strongly, and Plan Paradise is staying on early to take this for Jack Tudor and Christian Williams.
We took the view beforehand that perhaps he wasn't quite good enough. Tripped really good. We were him the best chance of finishing off strong. He's got ability, but he has his good days and his bad days like us all. When he's right, he's good.
And they're coming home strongly as Idaho started Ryan Carver, edging left-handed, but he's finishing with some purpose here.
We'll go ahead and head right out to the racetrack, and as you can see, this is where the bookmakers will set up on the apron for you to place your bets outside.
Courtesy of the total play spot today, you can have more than one selection in each race. Quick things are available to you, there's some random selections for you. So 36 races per place from. Everything starts at 12:25. Amateur Jockeys handicap our first race today, now featuring 11 runners. Persian Phoenix, who was quite a big price, 22-1 or thereabouts, doesn't take part. Official game description for this all-weather championship fixture is standard. So standard is the going on the poly track together with Bet UK and Bet MGM. This is another edition as part of the all-weather.
The grandstand section itself is a very simple design. There are a few rows of steps that will help you get an elevated view, and some dining sections behind the glass, including one for the horses' connections.
A couple of weeks ago, LaQuinto 5-2 market leader here, 3-1 win the dealings.
There is a second building that connects directly to the grandstand, and this is actually a hotel. There are a few steps in front of the hotel for the general public to stand on, and they also have a dining patio for the restaurant outside. After all, the track is dubbed Lingfield Park Resort, and yes, you can see the races from these hotel rooms. According to their website, there are 116 bedrooms, a leisure club, and an 18-hole golf course. And when I was looking at the windows, you could see there were quite a few beds that were pressed right up against the glass. Add that to my bucket list. The apron itself is pretty wide open with plenty of places to stand. A good portion of the apron is grass, so just make sure to wear the proper footwear on a wet day, but there are some paved walkways with picnic tables set up for you to sit railside.
Going down, under 30.
Lingfield has 2 racetracks, a turf course closest to the crowd, and an inner poly-track synthetic surface. The track is open year-round, and the turf course is used for both flat racing and national hunt racing over the jumps. You can see that the chute goes back a long way from here, and there is also a point where the horses would completely disappear from your view as they go downhill. And then you can see just how dramatic an uphill climb they'll have on the far turn. The synthetic course also sees some ups and downs at different portions, but they're not quite as dramatic as the turf. The synthetic course is elevated a bit above the turf course, which potentially can make it difficult to see certain parts of the track depending on where you're standing, but it does help out during the stretch run as they approach some of the advertisement signs by the wire. They're going to coast right above them.
Out in front, Lady Mansell coming at Mr. McGregor, and Lady Mansell's picked up really well here, and he's striding clear. Lady Mansell off the mark decisively as well, with 3 lengths for Jack Tracy and Amanda Perry. Naughty Eyes possibly second ahead of 16-1. Mr. McGregor in Enchanted Way, run out of things up the home straight.
The horses essentially have 3 straight portions of the track on the synthetic. The area of the track that would normally be the far turn for those of us in America is essentially a straightaway. So they're running straight 3 different times. The back stretch, the far turn, we'll call it, and the stretch run.
Blue Yonder comes next ahead of Alexis, and Roly Poly Moly leads the turn in. Roly Poly Moly by just over a length from Eaton Blue. Conte Partiro asked for the effort. Blue Yonder the grey on the outside of Hello Miss Lady, and then behind these is Alexis ahead of Annexation, who runs on. Roly Poly Moly, Blue Yonder, the first 2 from 12 months ago. Conte Partiro, Eaton Blue, and angling out amongst horses. Alexis coming with a challenge. Blue Yonder, Alexis being produced on the outside, goes for the line together, and it's Alexis just gets up from Blue Yonder. Annexation made good late ground on the stable debut for 3rd.
If you go out behind the grandstand, you'll find more of that festival look with a bar, and you can see the back of the hotel. But you also find the pre-parade ring and the parade ring back here. This is where you're going to be able to get close to the horses. The pre-parade ring is pretty standard with the stalls going across the back and a walking ring that stretches the entire length of the stalls. However, of all the tracks I went to on this trip, this pre-parade ring was the closest you could get to the horses as they walked around, with the fence right along the pathway. The viewing area also stretched the entire way where the horses walked. This was nice because a lot of the other tracks that I went to, their pre-parade ring, you could kind of see them walking off in the distance, but you couldn't get right up next to them until they went to the parade ring. Speaking of the parade ring, once the time comes, the horses will head down the short path into it. And again, you have great up-close access to the horses. There are a few sections of elevated standing areas, and you can stand pretty much the entire way around. The jockeys will come out of the locker room and mount their horses. And then the horses will begin their path to the racetrack.
Nine. No, I said nine.
The horses will break into their warm-ups.
Viscount is next in pink with the black chevron and sleeves for Michelle and Grace Harris. George Williams claiming the £5. Number 4 is Phoenix for Male Lead Racing. 3 Trading Limited doing the owners. Next post is number 9, which is Limelight in purple with the green triple diamond polygold.
Run the race.
Viscount has the lead. Durham's Club on the outside all the time. Limelight continues to stay on. Viscount Limelight over on the far side. And still coming on the near track. Going to win the line for Lawrence Graf. Viscount for Lawrence Graf. Viscount will not know. Viscount beats to Lawrence Graf and Limelight. Only fourth for Dubai Harbour. Reference of Hope and Phoenix.
And then make their way back up the path to be unsaddled. The winner has their own special enclosure right beside the parade ring here at Lingfield.
The Lady Mansour sent to the winners' enclosure. She made her debut in August in Thompson.
While the rest of the top 4 will have their spots in the main unsaddling area right next to it.
From 3 to 2, unless otherwise displayed. So if you had a place or each way bet here, and for your place pots, third no longer counts. Number of winning places reduced from 3 to 2. Bubbly 66 to 1. If you bat that horse, get a full refund of your stake money, but there will be no deductions to winning bets.
Then the horses will head back up to the pre-parade ring and head home.
He's a bit cheeky, isn't he, guy? He's a bit cheeky. He said they're all going a different way to me.
But that brings us to the end of our tour around Lingfield Park. What did you think of the racetrack? As I said earlier, I hope I have the chance to come back when I get to see the track in its full decorative glory. It really seems like a fun atmosphere, and the design of the track plus the resort make it very unique. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the races.
Observatory, Laurentia has made good ground. Major down the outside, and then Fascinating Lips. Major and Royal Observatory, the two that move on. Laurentia tries to join in as well. Major, Royal Observatory goes into the front on the line, but this is going to be right on the bob. Major coming back at Royal Observatory. It will be close.
Good few chances according to the market here. As I mentioned, it's only first and second for each way bets. 5-2 market leader is McQuinto.